Rachit, you can be online right now. Yes. So we welcome Rachit and just giving an introduction of the Rachit to all the audiences. Rachit is from PEC, I think.
Yeah.
So I think fondly called by everyone as PEC in the engineering area. And after that, he's worked with some internships has done. Then after that, he went for MasterCard. I think most of the majorly he spent his time with the MasterCard as a consultant. And right now he has been admitted to ISB and passing out, I think PGP ISB, which would be passing out at 2026. So I think Rachit would be giving a brief introduction of himself, and then after that he would be addressing the audience. So Rachit, the stage is all yours from now.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the introduction. So I think you've already covered most of the things. I'm from Peck Chandigarh. I did my engineering in 2021. After that, I joined Mastercard. I've been there for close to 4 years, and now I am part of the ISB PGP program cohort of 26. So I've recently begun my journey here. It's been roughly 3 weeks here. And yes, that's about me. So what I'll do is uh, I made some broad points that I'll be covering. These are not very comprehensive, but uh, it'll give you some sort of framework or a way to think about the topics that we'll be covering. And in case there are any specific questions, obviously we can cover that in the Q&A towards the end of the session. So please keep in mind about my background. So I come from an engineering background. I've done consulting for 3 or 4 years, and I'm part of ISB. So everything and anything that I say comes with that sort of context, that bias. So don't take it as like a gospel truth, whatever I'm saying. Obviously, your experience, your background could be very different from mine. So there's an essence of subjectivity in whatever I'm saying. But I'll just try to cover from my journey, and if there is anything, obviously we can discuss that. So firstly, I'll probably cover GRE versus GMAT. That's the first step of your B school journey or MBA application journey. Uh, and I think a lot of people are in a dilemma of which one to choose, which is better, one or the other. Uh, One line answer, it's purely your personal preference. There is no advantage of one over the other. I personally took GRE. GMAT is equally good. Uh, so two things I can probably point out here is one, the type of program that you're choosing. If you're choosing B schools, if you want to go into MBA and we are sure short about it, GMAT I think is more acceptable. But I think now most of the schools have started accepting GRE as well. So that's one, the type of program that you're choosing. The second one would be the pattern. Uh, Again, this is something that you'll hear often, that GMAT is more probably grammar focused, whereas GRE is more on the lines of vocabulary. So you might have to consume a lot of content, a lot of reading might have to happen once you get familiar with the pattern. So these are the two differences, the type of program and the pattern of the exam, which uh, probably could be the guardrail for you to decide which you want to choose, GMAT or GRE. In terms of acceptance, I think most of the schools accept both of these. So that's the first thing that I wanted to cover. Now, how do you go about it is quant is similar in both. Although I'll be covering both the sections, verbal and quant in detail later on, but roughly similar quant. So nothing to differentiate there. Second would be your background and the comfort level. As I said, there is one which is more heavy on the verbal part, on the vocab part, and the second one is more nuanced towards the grammar. So if you think you have like an edge of one over the other, that is a way you can probably go about it. Um, then the third one is the diagnostic test. So before you get into full-blown preparation, what I would suggest is go for a diagnostic test, and without preparation, it will give you your level of comfort, your level of preparation right now, and where do you stand. Uh, don't get bogged down by the score that you get. It just gives you that benchmark, how much delta you have to cover. So that should be the first step in the practical preparation part. Go for a diagnostic test. before you start with the preparation, right? Uh, then is probably don't focus too much on the syllabus. Again, this is coming from purely from the Indian education system perspective. I think uh, in GMAT and GRE both, syllabus is not the most essential part. I think what is more important is the exam temperament. You need to be comfortable with the pattern. You need to be comfortable with the type of questions. There is an adaptive layer to it. So that is more important as compared to the syllabus. Uh, because we've all been through our undergrad, and we know even in our high schools we've covered a lot of syllabus in terms of the volume. So in GMAT and GRE, that's not the idea. It's more about how you perform during the exam. So I would weigh it more over the syllabus that you want to cover. So this is one. And lastly would be the preparation time. Again, very subjective. I'll be talking about my preparation time and all of that, but just to give you a broad sense, it could be uh, as short as 1 month, and it could go for close to 4 or 5 months as well. And you might want to reappear if you haven't got the right set of score. So give that buffer that if you did not perform as per your expectations, you have the time to probably reappear for the exam again. So that's roughly the idea of GRE, GMAT. Uh, Now I'll probably just go a little deep into the section. So there are broadly two sections, quant and verbal. Uh, Quant, again, coming from the Indian, although it's a global exam from Indian education, I think uh, what you want to do is you want to try to nail the quant section, both in GRE, GMAT. Try to get a full score if possible. For GRE, that's 170. For GMAT, I'm not very sure, but the idea is to get 170 on 170 in let's say GRE. That should be the aim. Uh, the syllabus is mostly up until what you've covered in 10th. So your stream in 11, 12 does not matter. Your background does not matter. It's foundational till 10th, what you've studied. That should do. Although there are a lot of resources available, you should refer to them for sure. But I think that just uh, if you're rusty right now, you can probably just refer to them. It's not very comprehensive. It's not very difficult to understand. So the idea is to just get the maximum score that you can, right? That's about quant. Just go with a foundational knowledge of the concepts and go full blown with the preparation. I mean, in terms of the practice, do as many questions as you can. Try to be in an environment which is exam friendly, sit on a desk, time yourself, do all of that. Because the questions are not very difficult in quant, and the idea is to get a full score. Uh, so that's quant. Verbal, I think this is probably the make or break for most of us. And the same was the case for me as well. Uh, Totally dependent on your comfort level with the language, I think. Uh, your natural command over English is something which is helpful in getting the score that you want to in verbal. Although I would say ki, there is no I mean, there's so much that you can study in language, but we have a well-defined syllabus. We have well-defined questions, the type of questions, and the content that you want to, the resources that you want to refer to. So, if at this point in time you feel that you're not very comfortable with English, there are a lot of things that you want to understand, and you're not very confident with the language, I think that's fine because just go to the website and you'll see that there are very well defined questions, and there are approaches to tackle them. So it's not undefined territory. I mean, there is boundaries. There is a well definitive structure to the exam. So even though you're not very comfortable, you can still get a decent score in verbal. But the idea is just try to have a natural command over the language. Try to read as much as you can. That would at the backdrop it would start helping you. And then obviously there are defined structure, defined questions, resources available. Uh, your source of truth should be the official websites. For GMAT, it's GMAC. For GRE, it's ETS. They have very comprehensive details, guidelines around the syllabus, around the structure. So if you want to start, I think that should be a starting point for verbal. There's so much available on these two exams. that you might feel lost. So you need to be very judicious and careful about the type of resources and the number of resources that you're referring to. You just can't go haywire with that because there is so much available on the internet about these two exams. So make sure you refer to the right resources and make sure the quality is consistent rather than just referring to anything random available. So yes, this was about verbal. We've covered quant, we've covered GRE, GMAT. Okay, I'll probably just talk about my preparation. So I took GRE. I took it in November, so I had to apply for round two of my application. So I took GRE in November. I prepared for close to 1.5 month. Uh, and again, this comes with the disclaimer that I knew everything about the exam beforehand. I was very sure that I wanted to take GRE and not GMAT, and I had my programs ready. The schools that I wanted to apply to, all of that was there for me. So then I took 1.5 months. So it's not something that was unprepared. I didn't just go into it without having prior knowledge. Once we have all that said, then I took 1.5 months, and then I appeared in November. Um, and then I got back to the application. So I had my schools ready. I had my resources ready. I had my template ready for my essays and everything. Then I went full blown into the preparation. I kept the application part aside and I prepared rigorously for the exam. Once that was there, I got my desired score. Then I got back to the application. That's how I approached it. There could be multiple approaches to it. You can probably do it in parallel if you think you can manage your application and both preparation together. Fair enough. Go ahead and do that. I would suggest just compartmentalize that. Uh, get your schools ready, get your application template ready, and then uh, just focus on your exam. Again, there could be a possibility where you want to reappear for the exam again. So keep that buffer as well. So that is how I went about it. I got my score. Then I took 1 month to apply to ISB for the application, the essays, and everything. And that was my approach. And probably lastly, I would cover the ISB application program in case there are some prospective students who want to apply. So how it works is there are 3 rounds of application. R1 is, I think, around September. Then there is R2, which is in December, and R3 happens in, I think, February or Jan end. Uh, Again, agnostic of the rounds that you apply to, you have mostly equal chances. It's just the number of applications and the number of seats are proportionate. So, although for you it does not matter, whenever you have your best foot forward, I think then that's where or when you want to apply to ISB. The application is first round is 3 or 4 essays, and then followed by the background that you have, your academic background, your professional background, all of that. So all these components have certain weightage. Again, undisclosed, but you have to give your best foot forward there. And then obviously your competitive exam, which is GRE or GMAT. Uh, you can't take home center exams for starting from last year, so you'll have to go there in the test center and take the exam. So that's the application part. Once you get through, you have interviews. The alums take your interview. Um, they could last anywhere from 20 minutes to probably 40, 45 minutes or maybe more as well. Again, not a function of how you perform in the interview. And then once you do that, you get your results in probably a month or so. So this is ISB application. I applied. I got through again. I took GRE. I took some help from the alums for my essays. You should do that as well. Most of them are very helpful, and then they are probably one source of truth for you because they've been there. They've done that. So reach out on LinkedIn to people wherever you want to apply to, ask them for GMAT, GRE help if they have some guidance on that, or whenever you are starting with your application, do that. So I think alums are really helpful, and I think that should go for other B schools as well. But I can surely talk about ISB. I think the alum network is really great, and they've been very approachable. So do that, and yep, I think this was what I wanted to cover. And yep. I haven't missed anything. So we've talked about. I won't talk about the ISB proposition and all. I mean, that's your choice if you want to join ISB or not. In your journey, that's very subjective. So I am not talking about that. I've talked about the application part. I've covered my journey. I've covered GRE, GMAT in general. Uh, that was in my agenda. I think we can probably have some questions if we have. Um, and yep, I'm open to questions.
I'm picking some questions from the chat only. Okay, so the one question which came about was the why MBA. So how to handle the why MBA question?
Why MBA? So, very subjective. There's no one shop answer for this. For me, it could be very different. So, let's say I'll talk about myself. So, I had done consulting for 3 or 4 years, but I think the exposure, the type of work that I was doing was limited. I wanted to expand sort of my horizons. I want to work in different industries. Uh, Obviously, MBA gives you that credibility. And if you're doing it from a good school, I think it would help you in the long run. So that could be why MBA. It could be as simple as that you want to pivot to a different industry. Let's say you've come from some finance background, now you want to go into consulting, and you won't really get that opportunity uh, on your plate without having the pedigree or without having that credibility. MBA gives you that. So again, no one single answer to all the applicants that are applying. It could be very subjective, but you need to be very honest with that why you wanted to do MBA, and make sure that you produce that in your application.
And the one question which came about was that how to handle questions which talks about your long and short term goals.
Is this about interview or the
Yeah,
application?
yeah.
In the
Even
interview.
the application.
Okay.
Even in the application, many of the business schools ask you about the long and the short term goals.
Right. So I think this is somewhat linked with why MBA. Why MBA could be a short-term goal for you. It could be a long-term goal for you as well. So how you'll tackle this is, let's say I am working in XYZ. Where do you see yourself after your 1 year or 2 years of MBA? Uh, do you want to move to a different industry? Do you want to move to a different function? That's your short-term goal. What you want to do right after your uh, B school finishes. Long-term goal is more around the impact that you want to create. Let's say in consulting, you want to work with some amazing Fortune 500 companies. Uh, you want to get that exposure and then probably start up your own business or something of that sort. That could be a long-term goal. So you need to think in the on the lines of where do you see yourself in 10 years down the lane. It could be vague. I mean, you don't have to be very concrete with the answer, but at least you should have some sort of vision that why are you doing this, and 10 years down the lane, how does that 1 or 2 year of MBA play in your journey. So that should be the idea. Again, don't go very hardwired on the long term thing. But yes, short term goal should be something that you should be very
And you were working at the time when you were preparing for it. And how to handle it with the work life? Is it on a daily? Basically, if you are working in private, you would be having a long hours. You can have that. So how you handled it with your preparation, the working and the preparation? Is it wise to take some off or some kind of sabbatical for preparation?
I personally didn't do that. I won't suggest that either. I mean, because so GRE GMAT is very, very possible with your whatever work-life balance that you have. You can probably give 1 hour or 2 hour every day, uh, probably after your dinner or early in the morning, whatever your sleep schedule is. You can do that, and on weekends, obviously, you have some off, so you can probably just increase that 1 or 2 hour to probably 4 or 5 hours, and that should be enough. And the idea is to start early. Uh, as I said, I mean, if you think that you can prepare in 2 hours, probably 2 months, probably give 4 months to the preparation part, because you never know. You could get into the that long-winded project where you don't really get time. There could be some family emergency. There could be anything that can happen. So just give that buffer, and because this is not a particular date exam, you can obviously give it according to your preparation level. Just make sure that you have some time before the application starts. And I won't really suggest taking an off and all, but uh, again, you could have like a very different condition. But in general, I don't think you need a sabbatical or a time off for this preparation.
So, when you went for an ISB just right now, what exactly you are approaching? What exactly skill development or what kind of a thing you're looking at? Let's say if I'm looking at Rachit right now after 1 year, what kind of a difference you expect yourself to have?
So honestly, I've been here for 3 weeks. I think it's very rigorous. I mean, you need to be mentally, physically prepared. You can't slack off in an MBA, especially if it's a 1 year MBA. There is so much that is on the pipeline. I mean, might have 10 assignments which is due on next day. You have quizzes. Uh, I have my midterms next week. So it's very rigorous. You need to be very, very prepared when you enter MBA. And in terms of where I see myself, for me personally, I've come from a consulting background. I want to continue in that. So I'll just try to explore a lot of different industries and the type of people that you meet here. There are doctors, there are people from army, people from all walks of life. So just interacting with them, networking with them is a gold mine, I would say. So that's my idea of 1 year of MBA. But for anyone who's looking to go for ISB, at least be very mentally prepared. I mean, you can't slack off or you can't have second thoughts about doing an MBA or if this is right or wrong for me, because it's very rigorous. When you enter here, there are things lined up uh, which won't really give you a lot of time to have second thoughts. So make sure you are prepared. I'm not saying to have a very concrete goal of where you see yourself and all of that. That's fine. You can figure that out in 1 year, but be mentally prepared for having like a roller coaster ride. Yeah.
Rachit, let's wind it up now. Most of the questions you've already answered. There are many questions which they're asking, but you've already taken it. Like as ISB application, you've already answered it. Actually, it was great talking to you, Rachit, and I think it was a great learning experience for all the students and even us teachers. Okay, actually, nice talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.